What the study says.
Have you ever wondered, maybe watching a nature documentary, if a cow can just, decide not to give milk? Or if its mood, maybe being stressed or happy, actually affects it? Sounds a bit funny, but it turns out there's some real science there. Welcome back to What the Study Says. I'm Dr. May.
And I'm Dr. Kai. Today, we're looking at a piece of research that actually won an Ig Nobel Prize. You know, the ones that celebrate science that first makes people laugh, then makes them think.
Exactly. And this one, the 2024 Ig Nobel for Biology, it went to a paper from way back called Factors Involved in the Ejection of Milk by Fordyce Ely and W.E. Peterson. It sounds simple, maybe, but they were tackling this surprisingly tricky question. How does milk physically leave the mammary gland?
Yeah, it's a really key distinction they were trying to make. See, for a long time, people kind of mushed together milk secretion, that's the body making the milk, and milk ejection, the getting it out part. Ely and Peterson wanted to pull those apart because, if you can't get the milk out.
Right, it doesn't help much that it was made in the first place. So where did they start? Did they think it was like a direct brain signal?
That was definitely a leading theory. So they did something pretty bold for the time. They took a cow, and on one half of its udder, they actually cut the main sympathetic nerves, denervated it.
Whoa, okay, so they basically disconnected that half from the central nervous system, communication-wise.
Pretty much, yeah. Asking, is the brain the puppet master here?
And what happened? Did that side just stop working?
That's the fascinating part.
Mm-hmm.
No. The denervated half-ejected milk just fine, just as well as the side that was still connected.
Really? So the direct nerve connection wasn't the key factor for ejection?
Nope. That was a huge finding. It meant milk ejection isn't under that kind of direct central nervous system control. Kind of counterintuitive, isn't it?
Totally. Okay, so if it's not the main nerves, what else did they look at? I heard their methods got a little creative.
Huh. Yeah, you could say that. They moved on to other influences, like stress, and they systematically frightened the cows.
Frightened them? How?
Well, apparently by things like putting a cat on the cow's back or exploding paper bags nearby.
A cat on a cow.
Yeah,
okay, that definitely qualifies as creative. So what did scaring the cows do to the milk flow?
It stopped it immediately. Complete cessation of milk ejection the moment the cow was frightened.
Wow. And how did they confirm it was the stress itself, the fright response?
Good question. They followed up by injecting adrenaline directly into the cow's veins, and guess what? Same result. Adrenaline shut down milk ejection. It also caused, classic shock symptoms, trembling. The cows wouldn't eat.
So stress hormones, like adrenaline, actively block the milk release. That's a very direct link between emotion, or at least the physiological stress response, and this bodily function.
Exactly. It shows just how much hormones tied to our emotional state can influence things we think are automatic.
Okay, so fright and adrenaline stop the flow.
Oh.
Was there a counterpart, something that could, boost it?
There was. And this is where oxytocin comes in. They injected posterior pituitary extracts, things like pitocin, which we now know is basically oxytocin.
And what did the oxytocin do?
It caused the udder to empty much, much more completely than even during a normal milking. Really effectively.
Oh, I read about this part. They got something called super strippings, right? Like extra milk squeezed out.
That's it. Residual milk that wouldn't normally come out was literally ejected. And it was incredibly rich, sometimes up to 24% fat content.
24%! That's amazing. So adrenaline stops it. Oxytocin powerfully promotes it. Did they test if oxytocin could, override the adrenaline?
They did. And this is maybe the most compelling bit. If a cow had stopped ejecting milk because it was frightened or because they'd given it adrenaline, a quick shot of pitocin, the oxytocin, could restart the milk ejection very positively within about 30 seconds.
Wow, like flipping a switch back on.
Pretty much, like a biological reset.
So this all led Elin and Peterson to their big theory, right? That milk injection is basically this balancing act.
Exactly. A kind of tug-of-war between adrenaline, which inhibits it, and oxytocin, which promotes it.
And they also figured out how the oxytocin gets released normally.
Well, they proposed it was a conditioned reflex. The everyday sounds and routines, the dairy, the rattling buckets, the milking machine starting up, maybe feeding time.
Ah, so those regular cues become signals, like Pavlov's dogs hearing the bell.
Precisely. Those signals trigger the cow's body to release oxytocin automatically. The oxytocin then causes the little muscles around the milk sacs, the alveoli and ducts, to contract and squeeze the milk out.
So why does this quirky old study about cow milking matter to us, beyond the dairy farm?
Well, it's more than just a funny Ig Nobel winner.
Yeah.
It fundamentally changed how we understand lactation, for one. But bigger than that, It was a clear demonstration of that powerful link, the link between an animal's emotional state, its hormones, and a really basic physiological response. And those principles apply far beyond cows, even to us.
Makes you think, doesn't it? How many of your own body's sort of automatic responses might be subtly tuned by these hormonal shifts or conditioned reflexes linked to your environment, your feelings? Yeah, this deep dive into the factors involved in the ejection of milk really does make you pause and think about just how complex biology is, even in things we take for granted. If you enjoyed this journey into some surprising science, definitely subscribe and maybe share what the study says with someone else who likes to learn.